Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming to this information session about the Santa Clara University Honors Program. Ordinarily, of course, we would look forward to welcoming you to campus and getting a chance to meet you and talk with you about the program in person and answer all of your questions. We're doing this introductory session today in the hopes that if you're interested in the program, you'll reach out to one of the two of us and we can answer your questions as we go along. Claire?
Hi, I'm Claire Shaw. I'm the Administrative Associate for the University Honors Program. So again, feel free to email me with any questions you might have. You can also CC Dr. Andrews. I also support our Lead Scholars Program, which is for our first generation college students, and I support the Office of Student Fellowships, which you can learn about later when you get on campus. Oh, and to tell a little bit about myself, I actually graduated from Santa Clara University in 2005 with a degree in history, and I have a master's degree in educational administration with a higher ed emphasis from Santa Clara that I received in 2011.
And I'm Professor Dr. Naomi Andrews. I am an associate professor in the history department. My research is on modern France, European imperialism, intellectual history, which is the history of ideas. And of course, I am also the director of the University Honors Program. I have been teaching at Santa Clara since 2004, and I've been the director of this program since 2018. But I've been teaching in the Honors Program for much longer than that. I think this is my 12th year. So I have experience as both a classroom teacher and as the director of the program. And of course, I know a lot about being part of the Santa Clara community. Not as much as Claire, because I did not go to college here, but we're both good resources, both for information about the program and about the campus more generally. Okay, so at a high level, what is the University Honors Program about? The program really aims to develop the critical thinking skills, the analytical rigor, the expressive capabilities, and the talents, really, of the very committed and very academically successful students who are members of the program. We do this through a series of small seminar-style classes that are aimed at developing all of these skills that I was just mentioning. And we also really encourage the honor students to pursue educational experiences that are outside of the classroom as well, whether that might be study abroad, various different kinds of service experiences that they might pursue, or just being very involved in the Santa Clara University community, which honor students are particularly well represented in leadership on the campus. All of these educational experiences lead up to a really important experience in honor students' senior year, which is the development of a project that they're going to pursue through the whole year with a faculty mentor and a faculty reader, people who are going to work closely with that student to develop an original piece of research in the field that they are interested in working in through their major or maybe through their minor. This is a project that can be very individualized and very personalized, and students work across the curriculum in their honors theses. For a little bit more detail about how the program works, I want to describe what we ask honor students to do to fulfill the requirements and graduate with honors. First of all, I want to emphasize that the honors program courses, with two exceptions, basically mesh with the core curriculum at Santa Clara. And what I mean by that is that everybody at Santa Clara is going to take Cultures and Ideas 1 and 2 as their core courses that students take usually in their first year Some students take that sequence in their second year. All students are taking those classes. All students are taking critical thinking and writing 1 and 2 in their first year. These are classes that the honors program also offers. So what we do is we develop smaller sections, more interactive sections of these same kinds of classes that students are taking across the university. So honor students will take an honors only section of Cultures and Ideas 1 and 2 with other honor students. Now, there are only 68 incoming honor students every year out of a first year class that this past year was close to 1,400 and is expected to go up. It's a highly selective program. We offer 4 sections of these classes, so the classes are capped at 17 students. In addition, there are a number of areas of the core curriculum that students have to fulfill, like religion courses and ethics courses. And we also offer honor-specific sections of those classes that are exclusive to honor students and are smaller, more interactive, and in some ways more rigorous, but in other ways differently challenging. I'm going to come back to difficult dialogues in the next slide, but at a high level, it's one of the 2 classes that you have to take as an honor student that no one else at the university has to take. So there's this difficult dialogues class and the senior thesis, which I've already said something about, and that really first year incoming students don't need to worry about right off the top. We also offer a variety of different kinds of elective courses and ways to fulfill the requirements of the program that aren't necessarily in the classroom, as I suggested earlier. So study abroad and immersion trips, taking classes that are above and beyond the requirements for language in the university. There are also a variety of kinds of classes like math and chemistry classes, psychology classes that are offered each year that are honor specific, and many of our students fulfill these requirements in that way. Now, I want to emphasize one of the things that often we are asked about this. We have students in the honors program from every major, every college, every area, every school on the campus. So if you're, for example, as many students are here at Santa Clara, interested in engineering, that's entirely feasible to be an engineer and be in the honors program, and we often have a very significant number of engineers. We've worked really closely with the engineering school to have the senior design project, which is the culminating project for the engineering school, mesh with the honors thesis. So if you are an engineer and you already know about the senior design project, you would not need to worry about having to do 2 senior theses, for example. And likewise, many departments on campus will ask students to do some kind of a capstone in their senior year, culminating project that draws together what they've learned in their major. And our honor students will often use that as the foundation for their thesis and expand it, make it more ambitious, longer, and work on it for the duration of their senior year rather than just 1 or 2 quarters, which is more typical for different majors. Okay, I mentioned difficult dialogues a little bit earlier. Difficult dialogues is a series of classes that is aimed at first and second year students, and as the slide you're looking at says, it is devoted to discussing and debating very tough questions that are faced by human society. And they do this in a whole variety of different kinds of ways. As you can see from the sample topics that are listed here, we have environmental studies classes, that's the food system sustainability class. We have biology classes, we have philosophy classes, classics, English, history, what are some other, anthropology, sociology, public health science. So we're really reaching across the curriculum and asking students and faculty to think together about these hard questions and develop a focused conversation about them. And these are really wonderful classes. They rotate every year. We try to have new classes sort of always in development, and students really report very positive experiences in these classes, thinking deeply about a specific topic together. All right, now many of you may be wondering, why would I sign up to take some somewhat harder or more rigorous classes when Santa Clara is already a challenging school? And so one of the obvious questions is, what are the benefits of belonging to the University Honors Program? The first and most tangible one is priority registration, which is to say that you will register at the front of your cohort every registration period. It doesn't mean you'll be the first people to register, but you would register before all other first-year students, for example. And that can be a real benefit. We often have students who are juggling multiple majors and even minors in addition, and are really have very structured program of learning and really need to be confident that they're going to be able to get the classes that they need for those different commitments. So priority registration is a really useful way to be able to fulfill all those different demands. I've already mentioned the small class size. That really is a wonderful feature of the program. As I mentioned before, I teach in the program as well. And what I find is that 17, 18 students is a really wonderful size of class for engaged, in-depth discussion. Students really can be heard and get to know each other in those classes. Now, there are a number of fellowships that are only accessible to honors students. Excuse me. Some of these are internal grants to support summer research. And then there's this one very special one, which is a sponsored year, mostly funded sponsored year at Mansfield College, Oxford. This is a picture of one of our now not so recent graduates, Morris Kim, who was at Oxford, came back and then went on to graduate in anthropology and go on to medical school at Tulane University. And that's a really wonderful opportunity for one student. Another really great feature of the honors program is peer mentors. So every year we pair incoming students with a more advanced student, usually around major interests, extracurricular interests, and they are really wonderful support for students as they transition here at Santa Clara. There also are a number of advising resources that are available primarily in the form of me and Claire. We really work closely with our students to help them figure out how to navigate the university and often how to reconcile multiple different majors and minors, as I mentioned before, and we're really quite available to do that. And that's, I like to think of myself as a kind of super advisor for students in the honors program. They all have regular academic advisors, but I often help them navigate questions that come up in a broader sense. We also coordinate with the Office of Student Fellowships, and Claire, as she mentioned earlier, is the support, the administrative support for that program as well. And so she's a really great resource across the two programs. And we also host honors community events throughout the school year. One of the other benefits of the program is the housing distribution of students. Claire, would you like to explain that a little bit to our audience?
Sure. So if you join the University Honors Program, for your first year, you will be in one of four residential learning communities, or as we call them on campus, RLCs. We do require that you are in one of the 4 RLCs. Now, this only lasts for your first year, though, so after that, you can switch. But the 4 RLCs are Da Vinci, Unity, Modern Perspectives, and Alpha. If you're wondering what residence hall that translates to, Da Vinci is in Casa Italiana, Unity is in McLaughlin Walsh. Modern Perspectives is in Dunn. And Alpha is in Graham.
One other feature of the program that we would like to highlight is the student-led Honors Advisory Council. And the Honors Advisory Council is a group of wonderful and dedicated students. In the normal course of things, I would have a couple of them here to answer your questions. They're enthusiasts of the program and very knowledgeable. So students from each year of the program will join together. They meet weekly, they do programming, they help to organize the mentoring program that I mentioned before. They have been working really hard with me and Claire to do more community building kinds of activities here in the honors program. One of the things about our program that is different from many of the programs you might have been looking at other colleges and universities is that unlike many schools where you'll have an honors college or an honors, usually it's called an honors college, we are a virtual community. Honor students are clustered in those 4 RLCs that Claire mentioned, but they aren't necessarily living on the same hall. They aren't necessarily rooming with other honors students. In fact, they're usually not rooming with other honors students. And so we have to work hard to create the physical community out of that virtual community. And we've been doing that through a variety of events. University Honors Presents, which are usually talks on interesting topics like the physics of Star Trek or how to build your investment portfolio from your first year in college by faculty on campus. But we've also really been working a lot on things like game night, and there's a quarterly dinner for the honors students that is put on. That programming is put on by the Honors Advisory Council. They began experimenting last quarter with a movie night. So we're really working hard on finding alternative venues to the classroom in which honor students will meet each other and connect and reconnect with students that they've known in other contexts. All right, so if you have other questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. Our website has all of the information that we've gone over here today is on our website, and Claire and I are both very available to answer questions by email. I recommend copying both of us, and one of us will get back to you in short order. Claire, do you have any final words?
I did want to add that if you are considering trying to join the Lead Scholars Program as well, in addition to University Honors Program, we do have a lot of overlap there. So both programs you can definitely participate in at the same time. If you're interested in potentially doing that, I would advise when you are choosing your housing to choose either Da Vinci or Unity as your top choices, because those two residential learning communities overlap with both programs. But they're very doable to combine both of those. So we definitely encourage and welcome people to apply to both.
Yes, very much so. In fact, in our first year class, that is in current first years, more than 10% of the students are in both of those programs. So please do consider that if you're interested in LEAD. Keep honors in mind as well. Finally, in closing, a couple of notes about due dates for applications. If you are considering Santa Clara and a decision about whether you're admitted to the honors program or not would sway you toward coming to Santa Clara, we will give you an early answer if you submit your application by April 15th. If you know you're coming to Santa Clara, then the application for the honors program is May 1st. You don't need to get it in any earlier because you'll already be committed to Santa Clara, and we'll let you know. In either case, we're going to let you know in short order. especially if you are trying to decide about Santa Clara. We'll let you know in the last week of April whether you've been admitted. Thank you very much, and we look forward to hearing your questions and hope to see you at Santa Clara in the fall.